tied with Raffy. And did we run the numbers on? Is it regular season or all the games?
Let me find out real fast.
Okay. If some of you nerds keep, I mean, I love you. I mean, I'm a nerd about sports, but some of you nerds keep up with this. How are they running the numbers here? Is it regular season or postseason too? Either way, Hunter Hines ties Rafael Palmeiro with home runs, brought to you by Make-A-Wish, Mississippi. Talking about an amazing organization that we are super excited to be partnered with. Make-A-Wish, Mississippi is proud to partner with Hunter Hines and Simmons Erosion Control and help make wishes come true by pledging to donate to Make-A-Wish, Mississippi for every home run Hunter Hines hits. Donate today. Hope you'll give $5, $20, $50. HomeRunsForWishes.com. That's HomeRunForWishes.com. Hunter Hines and Make-A-Wish of Mississippi partnering, and it is awesome.
I feel like it's going to be a complete career.
Okay.
Just because, but obviously I don't know that. I'm finding out, though.
Okay. Make-A-Wish Mississippi's mission is to create life-changing wishes for children with critical illnesses. Make-A-Wish Mississippi, they seek to bring every eligible child's wish to life because every child deserves a childhood. And how about this? Last year, Make-A-Wish Mississippi granted 109 transformative wishes to critically ill children across our state, and their work is far from done. 115 kids are currently in their pipeline at Make-A-Wish Mississippi, waiting on their one true wish. It's only $6,500. Everything's paid for, whether they go to Disney World or out to Montana to fish or Major League Baseball World Series or go meet Dak or many, many other things. To visit today, ms.wish.org, ms.wish.org. And that was awesome last night. Congratulations to Hunter Hines. What did Parker made the comment that even Hunter Hines kind of smiled? I mean, he has got the stoic, no emotion face, just boom. I mean, he can hit a 3-run bomb and you're like, did he strike out or did he hit a homer? But he's been under a lot of pressure. He's had a much better career than people want to give him credit for. And he's changed games with one swing. He's either gotten you back into a game, extended a lead, whatever. Last night, obviously, everybody was chipping in 25-7. You beat Mizzou on the road. You're just trying to get in. Like Ole Miss and Southern Miss are playing for seeding. Ole Miss with a huge win at home. Southern Miss with a big win over Troy. Because Southern Miss hadn't had a lot of options to play teams that are good. And Troy has been good. Skylar Meade's there. He's kind of one of the hot up-and-comers as far as coaches. Who knows where he'll end up. And Coach Oz takes over for Coach Barry, which somebody said he drives a black Ford 250 or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see that.
F-250. But I can't remember the.
Does he wear a hard hat while driving?
Well, he's got to.
He's got to. I mean,
if he doesn't, I'm disappointed. If he doesn't go through Popeyes in Hattiesburg with a hard hat on, in fact, I'll text him. I'm going to be disappointed.
I mean, it's synonymous with him at this point.
And camo. I mean, he's got to have on camo, a Southern Miss hard hat, and an F-250, and order 3 boxes of Popeyes to go out to the farm to get on the tractor.
I mean, it's him and John Olerud, the hard hat guys.
No question, John Olerud. Man, Seattle Mariners.
First base. I mean, he held that thing down his whole career.
He did.
He was
just a solid ball player.
I mean, so solid.
Yeah, he was like
made a couple All-Star
Mark Grace.
Teams. That's a very good comparison.
But you never saw him play. You saw Mark Grace play every day on WGN. Yeah.
But
I mean, a little bit different era. I mean, Olerud was a little later, but you know what I mean.
But you knew that hat.
Yeah. The hard hat.
The hard hat.
Man, I love it.
Oh, good. I think Olerud got him a ring.
Not with the Mariners. Where did he bounce?
He got. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put some respect on his name. He got 2 rings.
Okay. Let me guess with who. Give me the year.
Same team. Dang, he's at 92, 93.
Blue Jays?
Yes, sir. Well done.
Really?
Yeah,
He was with Morris and them?
Earlier, he was young.
Damn, I did not realize that, man.
He is a member of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, he's got to
course he
be.
is.
He and Brian Adams. I mean, I'm kidding. Brian Adams is a singer, but whatever.
Yeah, he's a Canadian Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Wayne Gretzky on the cover of Cigar Aficionado
Great
recently.
one.
The great one.
Great one.
He is the Canadian Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He probably has, he's probably got, he's the last signature on the ballots for everyone. If he wants them
No
in,
doubt.
they're in. If he doesn't want them in, they're not in.
I mean, Canada probably deeded him
Yeah.
$15,000. I mean, 15,000 acres of land.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing in Canada, right? So he's probably got like Gretzky Providence in Canada.
Yeah, no question.
So he can just fly in.
Yeah.
These are the 15,000 acres that Canada deeded me after I owned you with the Edmonton Oilers and then decided to go to L.A.
Yeah.
Because his wife was an actress. Or is an actress. I don't know what she is. But anyway, Paulina is married to Dustin Johnson, right?
Correct.
DJ, baby.
DJ.
And they've been on the cover of Cigar Aficionado. Can you believe that?
No.
That's how many Gretzky's have been on. So,
That 3?
so I want, no, 4. Let me go back a minute.
Oh, whoa.
Years ago, they put Wayne Gretzky and Janet Jones on the cover.
Ah.
And she looked, it looked like she was wearing like a silky robe that you wear coming out of the shower.
Nice.
All right, and then Dustin Johnson and Paulina Gretzky, Wayne and Janet's daughter, was on Cigar Aficionado, and then the last one, or either the one before. Anyway, this year, Wayne Gretzky's on the cover of Cigar Aficionado. He's a big cigar smoker.
Dustin Johnson, is he a Gretzky or a Johnson?
He's a Johnson.
He's a Gretzky.
Stop it. Oh, he took her name instead of. I love it. Speaking of, that hit was brought to you by Spring Street Cigars in Jackson. Now open in the building where the Rogue Men's Store is. It is a beautiful cigar lounge and full bar. Spring Street Cigars in Jackson. Open in the building where the Rogue Men's Store is. They took all 3 floors. It's beautiful. I was there yesterday. They have Volteo tequila too. Oh, good morning. Your SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by the Briar Patch in Livingston. It's just a super cool, super cool, high-end craft cocktail bar with really good food. The Briar Patch in Livingston. We're lucky to have it. We are. Brian Eisenhood, JC, and the team at the Briar Patch in Livingston. Craft cocktails, fun beverages, good food. And I've told you about their amazing cheeseburger and charcuterie board, flatbreads, all the good stuff. I got to get there. I've been here and there on the weekends and leaving again. What are we doing? We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Jackson Meadows dressed like a combination of Mick Jagger, David Bowie, and Boy George. Very Londonish this morning. Fluorescent pink, fluorescent green, all kinds of
Eons.
Neon. Yeah, lots of neon. Lots of kind of techie, Londony music coming out of maybe a little bit of the 70s, but definitely maybe
Popped in the 80s.
Accelerated.
Nope.
In the 80s, for sure.
Is that one thing from the 80s you wish was still like a thing?
What's that?
I'm asking.
Is there something that I wish was still a thing?
Oh,
okay.
Like that we could just bring it back and it needs to be a staple.
Needs to be a staple from the 80s.
I could ask you about your time in the 20s, but I think we'll
let's just get to the 80s.
Right.
Something that
was there clothes? when was bell bottoms?
Fashion was not awesome.
It wasn't
in the
awesome,
80s.
right?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Give you a minute to think about that. There's got to be something.
Yeah. Oh, I still thought it was a wonderful decade. I'm just trying to think. Jackson Mets baseball.
All right.
But I'm trying to think
That's
of
a win, though. I like
some
that.
food.
Yeah. Or a style of sorts or whatever it was.
Oh, a style.
I don't know.
Who had that? David Bowie had the style. Madonna. I guess Michael Jackson for a second. Of course, we got introduced to MJ.
Oh, we go to music though. You could mute. I guess.
Music. I'd go U2. We were leaving the 70s, going into definitely hard rock, hair bands, U2, Madonna, Michael Jackson. Bruce Springsteen hit it in the 70s, but really hit it in the 80s.
Man.
Tracksuits.
That's when they got hot.
Oh, they did. Tracksuits.
And windbreakers, yeah, obviously. Okay, so.
Yeah, they were very baggy and crappy made. Today, things you can get hoodies and athletic gear that's fitted and cool. That wasn't like that in the 80s. It was very. Movies were I think much better then than today.
Right.
So yeah, okay. I think you hit on something. You went into the whole St. Elmo's Fire, Risky Business, Top Gun, Weird Science, and the Breakfast Club, and the other 250, 300 movies that you could go through.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's a good call.
The tech and the gadgets, though.
Caddyshack was pre-80, right? That was late 70s.
Right.
Star Wars was late 70s. And that blew our mind. E.T., I don't remember if that was post-81 or pre-80. Post-80 or pre-80. I want to say it may have been like 80, 81. That blew all of our minds. So, yeah, I would go so many
82.
Great movies were – and – you could be, you didn't have to be PC. They couldn't do a lot of the stuff that people just understood. Let's just have fun.
Right.
And now you've got too many people running around pearl clutching.
Yeah, attitude and culture. But think about the gadgets. Like obviously we have iPhones now, right? But there were staples of the 80s. Walkmans.
Yeah.
That is did that not spur at all?
Boom boxes.
And boom boxes right there.
Walkmans. And then people would load up, they would stack their JVC
Yeah.
or Sony stuff in there. You had to have multiple pieces to have a home stereo.
Right.
Now all you got to do is have a speaker on your island and you talk to it and it plays David Bowie from 1982. Yeah. I'd say movies and fast food.
Well,
that was the boom.
I'd go like a mixture or a combo of fast food and like places to hang out. Like a skating rink type deal.
Skating rinks were huge in the 80s.
Right, like that was
the skating rink by Grit, so it was the courthouse.
Yeah.
But Grit Training Facility, which is where you want to go with your baseball or softball team, it's right there behind Ergon. You know where I am. Yeah. Ergon Lake, or Mirror Lake, whatever. So there was a skating rink behind Ergon, right by where Grit Training Facility is now. It was awesome. Popping.
I mean, you got to go arcades too, right? Like an arcade was a thing in the 80s. Yeah.
The arcade in North Park Mall was legendary.
Man, I bet.
Yeah. And malls. That was the thing coming out of the 70s, malls. No you go to mall, you walk around. You just hung out.
So if there was one thing we would keep.
That's Weird Science.
It is.
That's the Breakfast Club. Yeah. Malls. Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons, they were a thing.
Oh, huge.
I mean,
I lived on Saturday morning cartoons in 1982.
It's not like that anymore.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But it's not like, like the good cartoons.
They were legend. They were phenomenal.
Yeah, like Thundercats and Transformers and all that.
Bugs Bunny.
Obviously the staples.
Yeah, no doubt.
And their original formats, too. Not, converted. I guess 80s were all right.
Sun Devil Macy, who doesn't want Mississippi State to take his baseball coach, Willie Bloomquist, texts the show. Green screen stock terminals and brick cell phones and Bud Fox red suspenders. Suspenders were a big deal.
All right.
Yeah. Now, Phil Jackson kept them going into the 90s and I think even the 2000s.
Yeah, he did.
Which was not a good look.
No.
But when you're winning championships with Jordan and Kobe or Shaq, you can kind of do what you want.
Yeah. Who's going to tell him to take the suspenders off?
Yeah, Def Leppard is still one of my favorite bands. But yes, Def Leppard is something that you would carry from the 80s to today.
Is that
no doubt? I mean, great band.
They could be the poster child for 80s music.
From Europe. They would be in there.
I mean, that's a
Pour Some Sugar on Me.
That's an 80s anthem.
Yeah, they were hotter than hot. Obviously, we were introduced to Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. Right. Hip hop really came on the scene.
Dude, that's right.
You had unbelievable music producers and music moguls. And it was a time where you could still sell. We kind of went from 8-track to tape to CD quickly over 10 years.
Right.
So the people that were, even Bruce Springsteen acknowledged this, I came around at a time where it was easier to make money.
Right.
Because people bought tapes and CDs. And that was when you could hit your, Madonna, Cher, right. Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Def Leppard, Bruce.
Did they have like actors, right? When a tape was bought on VHS, was it a little? Did they not get royalties and stuff like that, like the way that you would with music?
That's a good question. I would think so.
I would think so, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if it was easier to make money then or now.
I don't know, man.
It's a different one, man. You're streaming
media
everywhere.
Is a great way to make money. I mean, if you're in movies or Netflix series, you can usually find other ways to create revenue through YouTube and podcast and other things.
Right.
And you can endorse. While we had brand ambassadors, nothing like today, because you couldn't order online, remember. So now if you've got a cologne or gear or a watch or any number of things, or now everybody's selling like vitamins and different things, then you can sell to a mass audience. I mean, you can have people in Asia, Europe, and the United States order your stuff today.
That's right.
That didn't happen in 1980. Like Michael Jackson, if he rolls out a merch deal, it's not as you can't put it on all the platforms that you can put it on today. He wouldn't have been able to do that in 1984.
That's a good point.
To sell to a mass audience from South America to Asia to here. Whereas
that's a good point.
Jordan gets revved up. Took a little while, but then, that line is sold everywhere. I mean, I bet he's. I can't imagine what his sales in Asia have been since about
When did that kick off?
So David Halberstam wrote a book in like 1997 or 8, and kind of talked about the globalization of the NBA and how Jordan was already going over, and then Kobe would follow and others. LeBron did too, but Jordan was already going over to Asia in the offseason to do kind of 4 to 7 day Nike tours to whet the appetite of being able to sell shoes and eventually merch, but shoes to the Asian population of Japan and China. And then that really took off.
Yeah, what foresight.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever was working under Phil Knight that partnered with MJ and said, hey, we're going to go tap this audience. And then once everybody was able to order online, the floodgates were open. Can you imagine what Mick Jagger would have made if he'd have been young? So
Good Lord.
Because of his fashion,
Right.
if Mick Jagger would have come around just a little bit later, right, and he'd have hit his prime, even if he would have been in like 50 years old, right?
Yeah.
If he rolls out like merch or jewelry or cologne or a combo, you're talking about, because, I mean, he is not sure anybody's played in front of more people.
I don't know. You might be right.
I don't know if anyone's played in front of more people than the Stones
Probably not.
since the 60s. So can you imagine what? And he may have one that I don't know that just sells very well in Europe. But I'm talking about if he'd have had Amazon in especially when they came back in 90
Yeah.
and they did their reboot, Start Me Up, there's no telling what Mick Jagger would have
He dropped
made.
a cologne.
I mean, he's already made a ton, but I'm talking about billions.
Man, dropping a cologne would have been heat for him.
Yeah. And then
A
cool
simple
jackets
shirt,
and shirts and hats and gear or luxury luggage.
I guess he would have been the most marketable guy right?
Well, Michael Jackson,
Sure.
if he hadn't lost his mind and
Right.
left us too soon, there's a bunch of them that could have, in today's world, like now all these, you got somebody like Chris Stapleton. Yeah, I mean, he's got a bourbon, but like if Jagger or Michael Jackson come out with a vodka and a merch game, there is no telling at the kind of Michael Jordan level what they could have done. Dog Tired Florence says, dude, the 1984 Van Halen album. I listened to it
That's a heater,
100,000
though, yeah.
times. Sun Devil Macy says, cease and desist on Bloomquist. There was a 90s cartoon with MJ, Gretzky, Bo Nose, and MC Hammer.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a lot going on.
that's a lot.
That was a lot going on.
That's star power.
That's star power. MC Hammer was the hottest thing ever for about 5 years, and then he had a manager that took all his money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Kind of like Mike Tyson.
Yep.
Yeah. That was, God, can you imagine if Tyson was what he was in 89 today? The marketing opportunities that he would have? Or Muhammad Ali?
He'd be able to do whatever he wants.
Or Pele? Or trying to think who else?
Even more recent, Gretzky.
Yeah.
Like Gretzky, he was on the fringe, maybe?
Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, Gretzky in a modern day athlete where we can stream every hockey game.
Right.
More
kids will be playing hockey.
Marrying an actress, and he's a face man.
Yeah.
And the fact that he scored.
Right.
So that's all of that sells. You bundle that, and the Great One comes out. In fact, I mean, does he have a merch line called the Great One? I don't know why he wouldn't.
Oh my gosh. How does he not? Hold on.
But I don't know that he does. I don't know if he really
I don't think he cares.
Well, Wayne just wakes up and gets paid.
Well, I mean, because he's a great.
I mean, like somebody asks him to go wherever,
right?
X, Y, and Z country club. And I mean, Wayne just gets paid.
I mean, my guy, he literally could have said, you know what, Trudeau, I'm going to do this now. And he could have been the prime minister of Canada, right? Is he
Yes.
Prime Minister. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're still mad at him leaving for Los Angeles.
Right.
Let's see. But
They'd have let him run the country quick.
well, somebody needs to, because Trudeau's a train wreck. I feel for the Canadians. That's been a disaster for his net worth's $250 million. So let's see what he's in. He is in sports teams. We're talking about Wayne Gretzky for our listeners. He's just on cover as Cigar Aficionado. And he loves to smoke a premium cigar, as we do too. Sports teams, real estate investments, Wayne Gretzky Estates Winery. Additionally, he has secured endorsement deals with major brands like Nike, Coca-Cola, and Upper Deck.
Yeah, but I'm on his own.
I haven't seen him do any of that, but I may miss that. I don't know.
Commercials, maybe.
He
He needs a line.
Yeah. So does he not have a great? That's amazing to me.
That is a miss.
And I'm surprised he doesn't have a cigar, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Surprised that he hasn't partnered with Rocky Patel or Drew Estate or Fuente or Oliva and rolled out the great one cigar.
Hey, you could. I mean,
very
Lord.
premium. I'm thinking $15 to $25 a stick. Probably maybe 20 and plus. I mean, he may be in that Davidoff level.
Who missed? Somebody missed.
I don't think he can. I think he's to the point where he's got plenty of dough and he's Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
He gets up and he plays golf every day.
Wayne Gretzky. I was going to say maybe his kid would have done it, but Pauline didn't have to do anything but wake up.
DJ's making the money on the golf course.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, let's switch gears. We've got some Jackson Dart audio. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. The New York Giants media relations, or whatever they call themselves, did something fun with Jackson Dart. He's their rookie QB. They're promoting him like crazy. He's actually going through OTAs. I don't think Russ is until June. Kind of like Jeffrey Simmons told us at the Starkville Derby when we interviewed him. Here I am. I was like, well, when are OTAs? He was like, this weekend. He said, I don't have to go. I know what my body can do. I was like, you're right. You're an all pro and you can go in June and they'll be just fine. Of course, he looks even better than he did 3 and 4 years ago. And he is a V-shaped human being. To carry 310 pounds the way that Jeffrey Simmons does is insane. But Jackson, I think it was Jackson Dart's birthday, plus he first round pick for the New York Giants. Obviously, Eli Manning, Charlie Connerly out of Ole Miss, Giants QBs. This is kind of a little bit they did introducing the New York Giants fan base to Jackson Dart.
We're going to live in the easy. You ready? Ready to go. Oh, yeah.
He's playing
Medium?
darts.
If you had a walkout song, what would it be? Skrilla by Kodak.
All right, another medium.
Who are you most excited to play with on the Giants? That's easy. My O-line. You can, that's a hard. Let's go hard. Let's go hard. Let's go hard. What video game could you beat any teammate at? I do not play video games.
Wow.
Watch TV shows. We're going to need more questions.
Oh, yeah.
Is there someone you model your game after? It's a good question. I think there's a few guys. Brett Favre was one early on that I watched. I liked a lot. I like Josh. I think everybody wants to be like Tom. So, dang. I got to get that bullseye. I'm filling it up right there. What game or sport can Diesel beat me in?
Ooh.
Diesel's my little brother. He can't beat me in anything. He knows that too. That's a little bro. You can't let a little bro beat you. Oh, that's hard. We can't stop till I hit a bullseye. What's the longest you've ever stayed awake?
Oh.
Huh. I didn't sleep when I got drafted, so what would that be? 48 hours? Do you use any hair products or tools,
Ooh.
or does this come natural? It does come natural. How did your parents think of the name Diesel for your brother?
Oh.
Well, it should have been my name. My parents said that when I came out, I didn't look like a Diesel, whatever that means. So that kind of pisses me off because I wish my name was Diesel. But they said they got it from Diesel Jeans. This is the last one.
Oh.
Come on, man.
28 minutes.
I just hit it. You got that though, right?
Easy.
All right. Bang.
All right.
Well,
So that was Jackson Dart. They were doing a little fun Q&A while he was playing darts. Jackson Dart was playing darts. That was the New York Giants media people. And who does he model his game after? Brett Favre, Josh Allen, Tom Brady. And he wishes that he had the name Diesel instead of his
That's pretty funny.
younger brother.
I like that.
Yeah. And his mom became a social media sensation the night of the draft. Her reaction to him getting drafted in the first round by the Giants. By the way, they traded back into the first round to get Dart. And also, it's obvious that she works out and she's very attractive. So, and they'll go from the West Coast to the East Coast. Figure they'll have a flat or a condo or apartment in New Jersey or New York as Dart takes on Russell Wilson this summer to see who's going to be the starting quarterback for the New York Giants. I'll go with Russ early, but we'll see what shakes out.
What's ideal for him though? Like what's
I think
Dart's
I
ideal
think
situation?
redshirting a year is ideal,
Yes.
and then making a run. I mean, he's going to compete for. He's a competitor.
He'll compete
He's one of
this
the best
year, yeah.
competitors to ever go through Ole Miss or the state of Mississippi. So he's going to make a run for it this year.
Two of them.
But he will definitely next year.
Yeah, I'll make a run next year for sure.
Is there supposed to be some music? Are we out on the music? Oh, okay. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Lunch today brought to you by the, how about the Oyster Po' Boy and Blue Plates at Martin's in Livingston? Does that sound good?
There's a number of things I could smash on that menu.
Could you smash a cheeseburger? What are your favorite toppings on a cheeseburger?
Oh man, I'm playing. I like.
Good
yeah,
Lord.
I got
what
lettuce
is
on
wrong
there.
with you?
A little lettuce. About it. Lettuce and cheese.
All right, so I like some kind of premium cheese.
Right.
Okay. I want some crispy bacon.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I want
yeah.
jalapenos.
Okay.
I love lettuce and tomato, especially from a farmer's market.
Okay.
And is there anything else? Oh,
Mayonnaise.
Wendy's been. No, I'm not doing mayonnaise. Wendy did a fried egg. So good.
Now I do love fried egg on there.
Fried
It's
egg on a
very good,
burger?
Yeah.
Damn nations, it doesn't get any better, does it?
I love it.
Even a little avocado. Now that's a Saturday morning. You know, you get like a premium gourmet cheeseburger from somewhere. It's about 11:30 in the morning. You know it's going to be a good day. You order a Tito's Vodka Bloody Mary or a Key City Mississippi Queen. Just kind of cruise into lunch brunch. What does that sound good?
Man. Cruise on in to lunch brunch.
Okay, we are the Out of Bounds Show. 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. All of these amazing segments and interviews and fun are on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We hope that you hit it. Subscribe. Search Out of Bounds with Bo Bounds on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Justin Parker, Mike Detillier, Tom Luganbill, among others. We're live in the Bake Plus studio on a baseball Friday, brought to you by Key City Beer.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's 9 a.m. and this ain't no kiddie show. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. As Mississippi's #1 morning show rolls on the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.
All right. Baseball Friday. Good morning. Welcome in. Southern Miss, big win over Troy. Ole Miss, huge win over the Auburn Tigers. Hunter Elliott, baby, dealing. And Mississippi State goes on the road and wins 25-7 over Missouri. And Hunter Hines had 2 bombs. And so 2 jacks by Hunter Hines, 67 home runs. Was it Steve Robertson that tweeted out? I thought it was a pretty cool graphic. I don't know who did it, but it was it's a graphic with Palmeiro.
Yeah, and him back to back.
And
I liked it.
Hunter Hines.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
The lefty
And they're both lefties.
inverted.
Love the here it is. 67 career home runs. Rafael Palmeiro, Hunter Hines. Somebody did make the point that Rafi did it in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not I'm not going to take anything away from Hunter though.
No,
But
still
yeah, I
with
mean
the
look,
career.
Rafi was he may have been the best player to ever play in the state of Mississippi, right? So and Rafi and Will were beyond special, and that's the bar that's been set. Probably not fair to everybody else that's gone through MSU, Ole Miss, and Southern Miss, because they're both Hall of Fame worthy. Definitely Rafi. You know, if Will would have just a little bit, I mean, he had good numbers, but you know, probably if one of them wins a World Series, I don't know. You know, Rafi with the thing on the HGH. But now with what they're doing with Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, I don't know how that's going to look for McGuire and all those guys. I mean, they have been they've contradicted themselves. Just like, I mean, you know, they're a voting Hall of Fame voters, right? Juries, HOAs. I mean, rules. You know, right? I mean, as humans, we're flawed because we apply, well, the rules should apply to you, but they don't apply to them. I don't know how that's going to look in the near future with the Pete Rose ruling this week or last. I don't remember when it came down. And the fact that he's now eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2027 with this, whatever it's called, Veterans Committee, or I don't know.
He gets in the right first ballot, right? Like, I mean, they don't.
You never know what those guys are really prickly.
I
mean, they really take themselves real seriously.
Got to put him in. If they don't put him in and they reinstated him, that's just more of a slap in the face.
You make a good point there.
It literally is.
That's right. I mean, if you're going to do it,
go ahead,
put him in.
Do it
In 2027, the first year. I don't know why you have to wait that long until they vote on it or whatever.
Just do it now.
But you know how that is. Again, committees and commissions. We are the Out of Bounds show. Speaking of, let's drop the Saban stuff on NIL. I like that. Saban was at the golf tournament in Birmingham. I can't remember what it's called. And he was talking to Feinbaum. So he talks a little NIL, and we'll drop that here in a second. But let me set up the show. We are the Out of Bounds show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're brought to you by the Armory on Lake Harbor in Ridgeland for all your firearms, optics, and suppressors. Firearms, optics, suppressors. The Armory, right in front of Kroger, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland, right down from McBee's. Is that fair? All right, here we go. It's 5 minutes, so we're going to barely get this in. This is Nick Saban on NIL with Feinbaum.
First of all. Secondly, I'm not sure we really need a commission. I think that, a lot of people know exactly what the issues are in college football and exactly what we need to do to fix them. I think the key to the drill is getting people together so that we can move it forward. So, I'm not opposed to players making money. I don't want anybody to think that. I just think the system that we're, the way it's going right now, it's not sustainable and probably not in the best interest of the student athletes across the board or the game itself. So I think we need to protect the brand and the competitive advantages and disadvantages that are being created right now. And I think we can fix all that. But I think we know how to do it. And I think not just me, but a lot of people, we just got to get everybody together to do it.
But whether you really went looking for this or not, and I know you didn't, you are now, at least media-wise, the center of attention at the absolute nadir of this conversation. If you could implement changes, where would you start?
Well, I think, first of all, the way all this started was, when President Trump spoke at, commencement at Alabama, he said, all my friends are saying college football is really messed up. Let's get together so we can figure out, how to fix it. And so that's how this all got started. But I really don't want to get into the implementation of, what I would do. I think, the first thing is everybody's got a different state law, which creates advantages and disadvantages, and everybody's trying to create advantages. So you probably need an interstate commerce type something that gets it all there. I don't think it's in the best interest of the players to necessarily be employees. And I think authentic name, image, and likeness is good for players, but I don't think pay for play is necessarily what we want. So, what is college? We all went to college to create value for our future. And, I think we want to keep, some semblance of that in terms of guys becoming and developing as people and students and developing a career off the field as well as developing the ability to play at the next level. So we've got to have a system that enhances all three of those.
You retired, and a lot of people think it had something to do with this. I don't know what exactly prompted you, but is it fixable?
Yeah,
is this sport fixable?
I think so. I just think we got to have some people get together and, push it forward. I think there's a lot of people out there that know how to fix it. I just think we got to push it forward and get everybody together, and some of it may need to be done on the federal level. So, and that's where we're going to have to get people together.
You seem, and have always seemed, incredibly concerned and have wanted to help implement change. Are you comfortable, finally, with being at the tip of that spear for this issue?
Well, I don't think I should be at the tip. I think I'm someone who has lots of experience and certainly would like to help anyone who would seek, our help to try to help fix it, because, I spent my whole life, 50 years, trying to help players be more successful in life. And I want to see us continue to be able to do that, not just in football, but in all sports across the board. We got to protect Olympic sports, whether they produce revenue or not, because it's opportunities for, young people to get an education. It trains a lot of people for the Olympics. And so there's a lot of things about college football that I think is worth trying to make sure that we keep the integrity of those things intact so that people can continue to have opportunities and be successful.
All right, so that was Nick Saban talking to Feinbaum, and you want to unpack a little bit of that? He still doesn't have a solution. Look, I think as long as conference commissioners and deputy conference commissioners and athletic directors and deputy ADs, how many more of those do we need? I think as long as they don't miss a paycheck, and they haven't, who's going to step up and get it done? Do you believe that Washington, D.C., for God's sakes, after everything we found out the last 90 days, and we knew that they were spending money in an egregious way, but now we found out it was just laughing at us and spending your money and my money. Do you think they're going to come up with the solution in Washington, D.C.? So who at the end of the day is going to take the bull by the horns and get the damn thing done? We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Mudbugs is open for the biz. Mudbugs at the Reservoir and Mudbugs downtown Brandon. Crawfish and shrimp, college baseball, sunshine, fun times. We'll get it going again today for all three teams, see how it all shakes out. We won't be on tomorrow, so we won't be recapping. Not that I'm going to break down all three games, God help me. But congratulations to Southern Miss, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. Do you think I should break down all three games?
Inning by inning.
15 minutes?
Pitch by pitch.
Oh, man. It's delicious. How about delicious as crawfish and ice cold Michelob Ultra?
I want you
At
breaking down
Mudbugs.
deliveries of the pitchers. I want you breaking down swings of the batters. I need it all.
Okay.
I need to know if they played that routine, fly ball correctly.
Well,
Was his first step back? I need to know.
you want to know about footwork at second base when
Come
you're
on,
turning
man.
two? All right.
Yeah, you got to slide that left foot
When
into
do
your
you
right.
pivot? Okay.
It's a beautiful thing when done correctly.
Yeah, it is. Congratulations to Hunter Elliott and Hunter Hines, among others, Southern Miss for beating Troy. That's awesome. Enjoy it. And Mississippi State has to get one more. Ole Miss and Southern Miss are in. Ole Miss trying to get back into hosting.
Yeah.
Is it going to take two more? I think it is. I think it's going to take a sweep, but we'll see. I mean, you're right there on the line right now. So, Ole Miss is at 17. Yeah.
Well, hey, that's on the line.
Yeah.
Feel comfortable though with a sweep. They could
Yes.
get that budge on over.
Yeah. Southern Miss jumped up 6 spots in RPI, 30-24, with their win over Troy.
That's crazy.
I know. Mississippi State jumped up a spot with their win over Missouri. Missouri's not good record, but I guess on the road gives you that
Yeah.
little bit of juice. Maybe they can get one more spot if they can take another game. And they'd love to be in the top 30 before this is all said and done. Did you tell me the SEC tournament starts at 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning?
9:30 Tuesday morning. They playing all day.
That's like right up your alley.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, somebody to go and watch a sport. Now, I love baseball, and I can watch it. I mean, I
do too.
I love going to SEC baseball games or MLB. For you, I don't,
Baseball's my
I mean,
first
I'd
love.
love for you to be able to get in there at 9:30 and not leave until midnight.
Not happening. Baseball's first love. I can make it halfway through it.
Well, that's not bad. So you could stay for
2 games.
8 hours.
3 games, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to devote my whole time to watching it.
Well, you'd be scrolling on your phone, talking to people around you. You'd meet friends around you.
I'll find that whistling guy.
The Whistler from Vanderbilt.
He's going to make it on TV. I feel like I need to be on TV as well.
That dude is terrible.
He's the worst.
Yeah. What a way to ruin other people's experiences who go to the SEC baseball tournament with their hard-earned money.
Yeah.
And act and make it about you. That's when you're not a get it guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to go sit by him, actually. How's no one ever just, gave him a little,
Oh,
They ain't roughed
you haven't
him up.
seen the videos?
They ain't roughed him up yet.
No. But, and I don't want to see anybody.
No. Of course not.
But there have been some close altercations.
Yeah. That dude had to have been a travel ball dad, right?
Who know? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know anything honestly about his background,
like the origin.
And I haven't been to the SEC baseball tournament since 2000. And it may have been since Mississippi State and Ole Miss played in the championship game, and MSU won against an Ole Miss team that was much better.
Like 12.
No, that was 05.
05.
Somewhere in there. 05, 6, I can't remember. Yeah. No, it was when Bianco was in his heyday. His 04, 05, 06 teams were loaded. And 09. I think that's right. I mean, he's had some other good teams, but Those 3 straight supers. We went up to the Texas Super Regional because we did a show from the library, and we had Kessinger and Kessinger on somebody else. I cannot remember. It was good though. Augie Garrido was at Texas, so that wasn't good for Ole Miss that weekend. Texas small balled them. Ole Miss had been a huge jack team. Had a bunch of dudes that could just yank yard, and had exploded on the scene, hitting bombs. They I guess not surprising, considering Bianco had been an LSU guy under Burtman, that they kind of formed their team that way. And Ole Miss was hosting the regional and super regional, and Augie Garrido just small ball. They pitched and small balled their way through the regional, and Ole Miss had a team. Miami and Virginia. Yeah. How about that?
I'm looking at this picture of the Whistler guy.
Yeah.
I can't believe he hadn't had an altercation, like a physical one. That's incredible.
It is because he's hijacked the experience for people.
He is hated.
The league should have done something.
Yeah,
I don't know if he still goes though. Did he pass away?
No, there was a hoax.
Okay.
There was a hoax.
Okay.
Where they threw the rumor out there and yada yada. But man, how did they not do anything about it? What's that mean? Is it
I don't know what their
constitutional right?
Well, I don't know about that, because I think you have to adhere to
right on their
whatever
premises.
the host
Yeah.
venue. I don't know about I don't know how that works. Not sure that. I mean, you can be escorted out.
Yeah, freedom of speech, freedom to whistle.
Maybe,
Same
but I'm
thing.
not sure that I'm buying that.
I don't know.
I just don't know enough about it
No.
at the end of the day.
I think you're right, though. I mean, when you purchase a ticket somewhere, you automatically say, okay, wherever I'm going, I acknowledge X rules. You're supposed to.
I think so.
And they can, determine. And
Probably.
They can make up a rule right there if they want. It's their venue.
I don't know if he's still going all the time. I haven't been. I'm
So
not going to.
I guess we'll know what
It's not
Tuesday?
in my, I went to several growing up, and that's not in my travel plans. How about that?
How many, all right, if you had to think, if you took the Vandy
Okay.
baseball folks,
Okay.
how many of them like it? I find
I
it hard
don't
to believe
think a
it's
large
lot.
percentage of them like it.
No. I don't think it's 50-50.
Now, they went through about a 6-7 year run where they were the number one program in the country.
So it didn't matter.
My God, they've lost 2 national championship series.
Right.
Much less they've won 2
Two.
or 3. I mean, they have played for it a lot. They lost to Mississippi State, but they also lost to I can't remember. I was just watching a clip of it the other day. I guess they were doing a promo or something.
It was in 21. Good Lord. Oh, it states. It was in 15.
Virginia.
Virginia.
O'Connor. Yeah, here's the article right here that I was reading on Brian O'Connor in University News, UVA. Yeah. Yeah, O'Connor beat Tim Corbin to win the national championship. Vandy's played for it a bunch, man.
Tim Corbin's record at Vandy?
What?
921 and 443.
Good Lord. We are the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by the Shrimp Po' Boy at Martins and Livingston. All right. Good morning. Welcome in. Your SEC Insider Hit is brought to you by MSSmartHomes.com. MSSmartHomes.com. If you want the awesome Sonos surround sound system in your house to enjoy movies, music, and sports, well, that's powered by MSSmartHomes.com. Mississippi Smart Homes and Jake Manning. Jake Manning. I didn't call him Jake Mangum. Jake Manning, MSSmartHomes.com. Make your home smart. Control it from your phone. The Sonos surround sound system for your house. Mississippi Smart Homes, MSSmartHomes.com. MSSmartHomes.com. Show is also brought to you by Went McGee, the mortgage man. He'll shop the best rates for you. Went McGee, mortgagemanms.com. Had a text, Bo, evidently you called it on the Mississippi State baseball search. No, somebody asked me who I thought, I have no idea who Zach Selman's going to hire. Somebody asked me, there's been dozens of texts, Bo, who do you think it will be? Call it. So I said, I could see reading the tea leaves of how Mississippi State operates and da-da-da-da-da. I think if you made me call, taking out the A-list guys, if you don't land an A-list guy, Dan Fitzgerald from Kansas just feels like the hire. Little bit of sizzle, good resume, pretty good hire. Could be a national championship coach. I don't know. But Dan Fitzgerald, he was Dallas Baptist for a decade, LSU for 2 years, and has been at Kansas for a few. So he's kind of got that. It's like an easy sale. It's a nice hire. It's a nice landing spot. It's a safe. He's been at DBU for a decade. He's been at LSU for 2 years. He's been at Kansas and won a little. And I just think that could get everybody kind of in the right spot.
Yeah.
That's brought to you by Went McGee, the mortgage man, mortgagemanms.com. He'll shop the best rates for you if you're buying a condo or a townhouse or a lot and building, whatever you're doing. Went McGee, mortgagemanms.com.
Love that.
Dan Fitzgerald feels like the comfortable hire. Yeah. Because he kind of checks. People make up what they think. You hear, well, he has to have coached in the SEC. No, he doesn't. Or he needs to be from around. Dan Mullen was from the Northeast. He's the most successful football coach you've ever had. Ron Polk was from many, 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 many miles away.
Where?
And I don't remember.
I thought he was a Mississippi guy.
No. I think he was a Yankee who ended up going through Miami.
Boston.
Yeah. And then, of course, at Georgia Southern and Mississippi State. But we're so collegiate. We make Chris Jans has no tie to the Southeast. He's back-to-back NCAA tournaments. Dan Mullen was from what, New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And over there with Chip Kelly and
Maine. And
Cameron, whatever his name was, it was the OC at LSU and an OC at the NFL level. So we at Mississippi State and Ole Miss and Auburn and A&M and we make these things up that we think we need.
Right.
These so Dan Fitzgerald fits. He was at Dallas Baptist for a decade, LSU for 2 years, and has been a moderately successful coach at Kansas. Now, I could run the numbers a couple different ways. I could say, Bo, he's been pretty damn successful. It's the Kansas Jayhawks. They don't care about baseball. Fair enough. Yeah. To me, like a Pollard at Duke scares, that's a concern. Not that he's not bright and good at what he does.
Right.
He's been there 12 years.
Doing something right.
How's he going to light the fire? and get in the SEC in the jungle full of lions and go against Van Horn and Vitello, who, by the way, are going at it this weekend.
Yeah.
10-7 last night. Tennessee. We'll see if they clear the benches or F-bomb each other or try to fight at home plate or, something damn crazy with the Arkansas-Tennessee series. It could get. There's a couple other series that could get heated today and tonight. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Went McGee, mortgagemanms.com. And if you want the super cool Sonos surround sound system for your house, for movies and music and sporting events, mssmarthomes.com, mssmarthomes.com. And what else do we want to throw out? Lunch today brought to you by Aplos.
Boom.
Jackson and I were at Aplos in Highland Village yesterday. We started with wings and Stella Artois. Then we went into chicken shawarma wraps. He got his with street corn. And we had some Parmesan fries at Aplos in Highland Village.
Lord.
And it's National Pizza Party Day, so you may want to get like 4 Aplos pizzas and binge watch Southern Miss, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State baseball. And pair it with that whatever your beverage is, whether it's lemonade or ice cold Michelob Ultra. And you got the PGA Championship, which is going on right now.
Right.
I
need you to take me back
had
to 01.
01?
Wow, what happened? What would the Polk do? Okay, Georgia, he goes to the College World Series, right?
Yeah. And then Pat McMahon was the coach at Mississippi State. Florida offered him their job.
Okay. And Polk was just like, I'm out in Florida or in Georgia and just, oh, wow.
Yeah. And
he just came home. He just came back.
he just came home.
Okay.
Larry Templeton made one of the most ridiculous statements, and this is saying something for LT, because again, it was a Starkville Cafe mentality.
Right.
I mean, I like Starkville Cafe. I want them to do well, but we got to get out of 1976.
Right.
So Larry made the comment, I have one name in my briefcase. To, at that time, really the only media around was TV stations and the Ledger.
Okay.
I think it was to a TV station, but I can't remember. And he said, there's only one name in my briefcase. And Larry defines tunnel vision, never thinking big picture, big. Paul Maneri wanted the job, who was at Notre Dame. He had just been in a regional in Duty Noble the year before. Travis Chapman and Ty Martin, I can't remember. I was at the games. I was at the regional. And they ended up beating Notre Dame, but it was a hard-fought regional, and Maneri's up in the Midwest. Notre Dame doesn't care about baseball. It had a tremendous amount of success. This is before Maneri goes to LSU. And there were others, and Templeton hired Polk. If he would have hired him and said, Ron, you have to come in, and the goal is to recruit your butt off and win, and we won't, and Larry was never even going to say this. We're bringing you back to win. It was never talked. Ron never talked about it. Larry was never going to be an AD that sat down with him at the end of the year and pushed him, because nobody pushed. Right. You needed an AD to say, we're here to win titles.
Right.
Not fight the NCAA, not do this, that, and the other, not write notes. We're here to win, period. People that come in the stadium are here to win. And so Polk got the job when McMahon took the job at Florida. McMahon was from Florida. That's why you had the Bishop Kenny, pipeline for years. I mean, Mississippi State won with Florida players starting 40-something years ago. McMahon was that pipeline. And then Raffo was from there. He played and coached with Pat and Polk. But there was a huge Papelbon's from there. I mean, I could go, there's dozens. The Florida pipeline through Starkville was insane in the 80s and, 90s and 2000s. But Papelbon was one of the big dudes. I can't remember where Travis Chapman was from. Was he from Florida? He's the first base coach for the Yankees. That's why I was giving you a hard time yesterday about how that's the perfect job for you, because you like to talk to a wall. I mean, you could talk every 162 Major League Baseball games a year. You could sit there and talk to first baseman and the umpire and whoever gets to first on your team throughout the game.
Oh,
you'd be in heaven.
I would.
And you'd probably talk to the pitcher.
No doubt. Absolutely, yeah.
Travis Chapman, who was a phenomenal baseball player at MSU, is the first base coach for the Yankees.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, first base and infield coach. Look out.
Yeah. Sun Devil Macy, Arizona State grad, on the Dancing Rabbit golf text line. Go with the Kansas guy for the Formula One driver, Steve Robertson. Anyone but Willie Bloomquist. Do not free Willie from Tempe, Arizona. That's Sun Devil Macy. So I don't think it's going to happen Sunday. I don't even think they're going to. I don't think they have the wherewithal to even look at him. But I think he's an assassin, throat cutter, and up and comer. He'll end up in the SEC. Eventually. Like next year when Mike Bianco retires, he'll end up at Ole Miss. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Almost 14 years. He's Arizona State's Jake Mangum, or Jake Mangum is Mississippi State's Willie Bloomquist.
That's it.
You couldn't get him out in the College World Series in 98, 99. He hit 400. Couldn't get him out. It was like Jake.
I don't understand, man.
Jake Mangum. Willie Bloomquist. Same dude. Personality, the way they're wired. Or as Chuck Box said, they have the ability to take people with them. Boy, is that a trait and whatever I'm saying, talent, characteristic that you want. Do we have Steve Robertson?
Yes.
All right. Steve Roberts, I did a Q&A, quick hit with him, and just bottom lined it on the coaching staff at or the next coach at Mississippi State. Brought to you by Two Brothers Bar and Grill in Starkville, an older brother bistro, high-end Reuben, muffaletta, and those deviled eggs with crumbled bacon and honey drizzled over it, all at Older Brother Bistro in Starkville. Here we go.
All right, Steve, do you want to go ahead and call it? Who's going to be the next baseball coach in Starkville?
No, it's so interesting. It's like every day you get a good feeling about something else. But I learned a couple days ago that the search firm is still making calls to candidates. They're still vetting out. So I think this process is really still kind of expanding rather than narrowing right now. And I think over the course of the next week, you'll start maybe kind of zeroing in a handful of candidates. But, yeah, I think right now it's far too early to start making any declarations.
Yeah. All right, so do you believe – but are you 99.9% it will be a sitting head coach from Power 4?
I'd say closer to 90%. But, yeah, I'm pretty convinced that's going to be the case. But, there's still maybe a handful of assistants that may get an actual face-to-face or a Zoom interview or something like that with Zach Selman. So I don't think that he's going to eliminate anybody just based on the fact that they're an assistant coach, because you've had some assistants that have come into this league and been promoted from within and done really well. So I think you probably maybe aren't doing your proper due diligence if you go into this thing with blinders. That's not the indication at all with Zach Selman. I think that he is going to consider every valuable candidate. But I do believe that it will be a sitting head coach.
And you're 90% sitting Power 4 sitting head coach.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. I mean, there's a couple of G5 names that are interesting, but I think
Which
one
ones?
of the things, and maybe this isn't a prerequisite, maybe more be sort of a preference, but I think you really got to have somebody familiar with recruiting in the Southeastern Conference, because until you've done it, you don't know what it requires. It's incredibly cutthroat, and you need people that have relationships with all these travel team coaches and things of that nature, and you bring in somebody from outside the natural recruiting footprint, it's going to take probably a year or two to establish those relationships.
Okay. Do you believe that Butch Thompson will leave Auburn?
No, not this time. I think Butch is probably there to retirement. I mean, you never say never in this business, but I just don't see that happening. Butch is Family lives out there. They got grandkids out there. He's recently built a lake house out there. I think Butch has really, established some roots there in that community. Not to mention, he's got things rolling right now. The number 6 team in the country, and they can play their way in a top 8 national seed. And I just don't really, at this point, see a path from Auburn to Starkville at this point.
All right. Do you see Link Jarrett leaving Florida State?
No. I've seen some people talk about that, and I haven't heard it from anywhere other than people that read it on message boards and ask us questions. But I haven't heard that from anybody that I trust. I mean, Link's a Florida State guy. Florida State, a very prestigious program, even though they've never won a national championship. I think Link is home. But, the thing that I've learned about all this is, like, you just don't see the big, Power 5 move very often. Of course, State's done it twice. I mean, you got John Cohen from Kentucky here, but that made a lot of sense because he's an alum. Then you get Chris Lemonis here, and so it's not maybe it's not a rarity, but it's just not something that happens very often. It's not like football or basketball where you see a lot of people that leave, and I think that's maybe where Mississippi State's a little bit different. I don't think many people see this as a lateral move. This is a step up to go to a baseball school that has an infrastructure and a program and a fan base that is eager to win another national championship.
Steve Robertson, genespage.com. He's on his way to Columbia, Missouri to watch MSU play a 3-game series against the Missouri Tigers. All right, Brian O'Connor, would you say it's a 10% chance he leaves Charlottesville?
I think it's maybe a little more than that. It's not something that I'm expecting right now. It's so interesting, when the search first opened, everybody in college baseball behind the scenes was saying, hey, Brian O'Connor is going to pursue this job, or Brian is unhappy at Virginia. Now that they started winning, the last 5 or 6 ball games, a lot of that that talk is kind of quieted down. And I don't interpret that as a lack of interest. I think he's just kind of zeroed in on what he needs to be focused on, and that's getting that team to the postseason. Because 2 weeks ago, a lot of people were projecting Virginia to be out of the tournament. Then they go and sweep Miami. Now, all of a sudden, people are thinking, hey, this team could make the racket here in the ACC tournament. So we'll see how things go. But no, I wouldn't rule him out, but I can't say I'm expecting him right now.
All right, you just took off a bunch. Wes Johnson, no. Okay, right? No on Wes Johnson. He's not leaving.
Here's the thing about the West thing. I think there's some leveraging going on there. I think Wes is happy at Georgia. I think Wes is probably going to stay at Georgia. I can't totally rule him out at this point, but I think Wes and maybe some other guys are kind of are trying to feather their nest a little bit, right? Get a little more red share, get a few more scholarships. And that's where I think Zach Feldman has to be very careful, because there's a lot of people out there that I don't think have a legitimate interest. I think they're interested in talking, but I think they would be maybe reluctant to make the big move. And so they're going to use the situation to kind of better their situation where they are.
Yeah, string MSU along. Okay. All right, so you're taking that guy, you're taking Rob Vaughn off the table too, right?
Well, I'm not ready to take a lot of these guys off the table. I don't think Rob is a probability, though. And one of the things that I heard this week, Rob Vaughn grew up in Aggie. He's from Humble, Texas. His family moved to Tuscaloosa later in his life. And so, yeah, he's got some ties to Tuscaloosa, but this is the guy that was part of the 12th man. And I had some people tell me that, yeah, it's probably going to take a perfect situation for him to leave Tuscaloosa. Mississippi State might be that, but with chatter about A&M possibly open up this year, that could kind of complicate things. And I think in the end, if given the opportunity between State and A&M, he would choose A&M because of his loyalties from childhood.
Okay. All right, let's get into the Big 12. Holiday, Savage, Fitzgerald, Bloomquist. Your thoughts?
Well, I think all those guys are good coaches. The Holiday thing is interesting. I had somebody tell me a couple of days ago that he had interest in the job. I can't say at this point how interested Mississippi State would be in him, but there are some people kind of advocating for him. My question is, what is his job status at Oklahoma State? I mean, this is a guy that's gone, to 11 tournaments in 12 years, but only made it to Omaha once. only won one Super. Yeah, he's done a good job there. They may actually be, the perennial Big 12 team right now, even though they're having a difficult year. But I don't want the guy that's one step ahead of the fire, if that makes sense. And I think he's a tougher sell because of the year they're having this year. But yeah, he's done a great job at Oklahoma State. But I think there's some fan fatigue there. They're just kind of ready for change, and we'll see. But I think there are some people within that conference that are worth talking to, and all of them are names that you mentioned.
All right, Steve Robertson, we appreciate it, man. Have a good weekend.
We'll see you soon.
All right, we appreciate Steve. Patrick Kelly from Oxford, Ole Miss Baseball Insider, and Steve Robertson, who goes to every single game for Mississippi State. Nobody covers MSU baseball like Steve Robertson. Gene's page.
All right. That was brought to you by Rick's Pro Truck, spray and bed liners, lift kits, tires and wheels, driven by RPT, baby. Rick's Pro Truck in Gluckstadt, RPT, Rick's Pro Truck in Flowood, and RPT Commercial in Pearl. RicksProTruck.com. RicksProTruck.com. Bo Bounds, Jackson Meadows with you as we wrap it up on a Friday, Baseball Friday. It looks like everybody's getting in, doesn't it? If Mississippi State can win one more game today or tomorrow, well, I guess they could even get a little wiggle room in the tournament, but go ahead and punch that ticket today or tomorrow. You remember Evan Sierra threw last week against Ole Miss, had 15 strikeouts. One of the most unbelievable performances in the history of the state of Mississippi. And as you know, that's saying something with the big three programs in Delta State, among other schools. But, Missouri was embarrassed last night, 25-7. So we'll see what happens, see how that looks. Ole Miss is hosting a top 5 RPI team in Auburn. They won last night because Hunter Elliott was unreal in dealing. And then Southern Miss wants to take the series from Troy, which is a big, big series when you look at RPI and wins and Sun Belt Conference and everything else between Skylar Meade, the coach at Troy, and Coach Oz at Southern Miss. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you hit all the local spots that we love and represent, and have fun and be careful and all that. But enjoy it's a good time of year. Baseball, PGA Championship, and more. Mudbugs is open at the Reservoir in downtown Brandon. And also one of our favorite spots, the Briar Patch in Livingston. Craft cocktails, super cool atmosphere, fabulous food. From flatbreads to the charcuterie board. Cheers. And here's to the PGA Championship, brought to you by Ice Cold Michelob Ultra. Spring Street Cigars is open in Jackson. For Jackson Meadows, it's open in Jackson in the building where the Rogue is. Spring Street Cigars, full bar, 3 floors. Unbelievable humidor.